In this tutorial we will learn Esave from the Unity Asset Store. Search Esave on the Asset Store website. Click Add to Assets. Click the Open the Asset in Unity button. This will take us to where we can download it in the Package Manager. Click Download. Now click Import to Project so a new pop-up window will show for us to import it. Click Import here too. Make sure you have the Newton package installed as well. You can check out the documentation for it here. Now let's talk a bit about how Esave works. In order to use Esave we need to use the esper.esave namespace. We also need to attach this component to an empty game object. This save file setup component contains something called a save file. The save file is going to become a JSON file somewhere in our device when we build the game. We can choose what name to give the JSON file. For example, the name game files, whereby it will then be stored as gamefiles.json. We can choose where to save the JSON file. For example, if we save it to Unity's persistent path, it will be stored after we build our game. Saving to a custom data path requires read external storage and write external storage permissions on Android. We can also encrypt the JSON data using AES, which makes the data unreadable without the correct key. The key is used to encrypt and decrypt the data, while the IV, initialization vector, ensures that each encryption produces a different result, even if the same data is encrypted multiple times. This prevents patterns from being detected in the encrypted data, adding an extra layer of security. To use Esave we will need to get a reference to the save file with the following code. We can then use the add or update data and the save methods using the save file reference. The add or update data method takes two parameters: a value parameter as well as an ID parameter. The ID is a string that we will use later to get the information from the JSON file. The value parameter can be an integer string float or even a class. Note that we will need to know what the value was later when we try to get the data in the getData method, which retrieves the information from the JSON file using the ID we choose to save it with. You will also need to keep references to all the IDs you create inside the script in constant strings. Now let's get the tutorial started. First, make a save file. Now create a new script on the same save file. Enable encryption. Now open up the script. Let's start off by getting a reference to our save file. Create a button and a text object. Now make references to the two objects. Make a method for the button's listener. We will increase the score by 100 every time the button is clicked. Put the right objects to the right references. The score currently always starts at 0. Let's make it save the score after every session. I will stop at 600, then run the game again and see if it remembers.